It was a cold, crisp morning when I found myself staring out over the wide expanse of my ranch. The sun had just begun to rise, casting a golden hue over the land, but my peace was soon shattered. I noticed a figure moving toward my barn, and the closer I looked, the more I realized it was Karen from the HOA. She had been causing trouble for months, always making unreasonable demands, insisting that my property violated some nonsensical code. Today, however, it seemed like she had come with a far worse agenda. I had already warned her several times to stay off my land, but she clearly wasn't listening. As she approached the barn, I could hear the faint sound of a saw cutting through wood and the clang of metal tools. My heart raced. I knew exactly what she was planning. She intended to destroy my barn, tear down my fences, and disrupt the peace that I had worked so hard to build here. The sight of her tampering with my livelihood was enough to send me into a rage. I immediately grabbed my rifle from the safe, rushing toward the barn. My horses were whinnying in the distance, obviously spooked by her presence. I shouted at her to stop, but she just scoffed and continued her destruction. At that moment, I knew she wasn't going to stop unless I made her understand just how serious this situation had become. I approached cautiously, keeping my distance, but Karen didn't seem to care that I was there. She raised a sledgehammer above her head as if to bring it down on my barn doors, and that's when I made the decision. I aimed my rifle, fired a warning shot into the air, and shouted one last time for her to leave. She froze, her hands shaking, and I saw the fear in her eyes as she finally realized I wasn't messing around. She bolted, running back toward the fence with tears streaming down her face, but I didn't pursue her. I wasn't interested in hurting anyone, but I had made it clear that my land, my animals, and my property were off limits. Karen never returned, and I could finally